Hey everyone, my name is Garma and some of you also know me as mylittlebasil.studio on Instagram. Today we are painting a small illustration with a bag and some flowers around it. So paper I'm using is Canson XL Cold Press. I have a bigger sheet but I'll only be painting on this part. I'm using the colors from Art Philosophy, the Classics palette, and a few other from other palettes, and I'll list all of them in the description box. I'll be using only one brush, that's round number 4 from Princeton Velvettouch. And you might need something to draw a little curve, or you can use a geometric compass. So to start with, I've taped the paper only on the edge here just a little bit to prevent it from moving. And since we won't be using too much water, so I've not taped it all around. So first I'll start with a very light sketch. It's a 4B pencil. I usually use a 2B, but this is fine. I'll just very lightly sketch the bag. Sort of a beach bag. Very light sketch and very loose drawing, not being very precise about it. Okay, and I'll be adding some flowers here, and so let's create a little curve. Okay, so first we'll start with the flowers in the bag and around it. So for the we're putting flowers run in colors here, so I'm picking just some plain green from the Classics palette, just very light green, and starting at the center with just few dots. And now first flower I'll make would be sort of a peachy pink color, so I'm just using some pink and adding a little bit of yellow to it. First to give me sort of a peachy orangish mix, and I'll go around the green, letting it bleed a little bit in circular little curves. I'll remove the excess graphite. Now, while this is still wet, I'll add a bit more pink to my mixture and start adding it towards the outer edge and sort of broadening the outermost petals a bit once I've reached the final size that I like. And we'll leave it to this for now. For the next one, I'll again pick some green, start with the center, and now just some yellow, sort of a watery yellow, because I want this green to bleed through. And just around. I go in both directions. Some people follow just one direction, so you can decide what look you like. And just when you reach the size you like, and then simply press your brush down a bit more. Now for the bottom here, we'll put only 2 flowers up there. For the bottom here, let's start with the same combination. We're going to start with yellow in the center, or let's do the pink one in the center, just to change it around a bit. We'll start with slightly peachish mix. So little C's overlapping each other, not increasing the size too much, and letting it dry now. Next to it, 2 yellow ones. So again, green here as well, simultaneously both sides. And now just right now they might look like roses, but once you'll be done with the second layer, they would start looking more like ranunculus. You want this center green to bleed a bit, so don't worry if it bleeds. And now we're going to go back on the top one, create a bit more pink mix with just a very slight bit of that initial orange. Just wait for this to dry, and then start around and create these darker petals. Just a touch of blue for the center, darken it up a bit. For the other one, a bit more orangish yellow. So just overlapping, similar kind. You don't want to go over all the white that you created with the last layer. So try to save that white. So you can see there's no fixed way. You can go from in to out. Okay. Now the last one in the center. Some green. Now a bit more pink mix. I would leave it to this. And now we're going to start with the bag. So I'm making sort of a brown and mixing a color called Sassafras in it to create sort of a lighter brown mix. And I'm first painting the part where the handles have been attached. And now we'll add just a touch more of yellow in it for the first layer of the handle. So towards the sides, the handle are wider, a bit thinner up on top, turn around and then again go wide for the full face of the strap. Leave it to that, we'll go back again. And now to paint the bag, or before we start painting the bag, let's add some leaves to this one and a few more little buds. So I'm adding a bit of black to my green and just adding simple leaves around. No strategy here, just following a bit around the curve that we created. What you can do is use that pink that you had and just create sort of a round shape with multiple petals like this. On both sides, and then we'll later attach some stem to it and the sepal part, but leave it like that for now. Now we'll make a blue for our bag. So I'm going to mix the blue that comes in the classic palette along with a color called Deep Sea from the Currents palette, and this gives me sort of a brighter indigo color, because if you'll use directly indigo, it will dry and become a bit boring. So adding a bit brighter blue keeps it nice and interesting looking. So going to paint blue stripes. Just wait for these to dry so that your blue doesn't bleed into them. I'm not being very precise about my stripes here, just making sure they don't bleed. Now let's add some leaves. We'll also add a few leaves with that blue color to bring it all together. So now picking that same green, and let's add now let's darken up the straps a bit. Just give it some shadows. So there you go, a small little illustration for you. And that was it. I really hope you enjoyed this little illustration. If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, and you can also subscribe to my channel to get notified about my next videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.